Hello students, today we are going to start with the next topic of Negotiable Instruments Act, which is the discharge of the negotiable instrument or discharge from the liability under any negotiable instrument. And before we understand the provisions regarding discharge from negotiable instrument, let me first of all explain you one illustration. Based on this illustration, we are going to understand the entire scenario of discharge of a negotiable instrument or discharge of liability of the parties under any negotiable instrument. Now today, to make you understand this concept of discharge of instrument, I am taking example of a promissory note this time. So we have understood at length about bill of exchange, the parties involved, how they are related, and what all interaction happens between all of them. So for today's topic, we are going to understand the same by way of a promissory note example. So in this example, in case of promissory note, we have primarily two parties, a maker and a payee. Maker is a person who promises to pay to the payee. So in my example, Anil is the maker and Sunil is the payee. And Sunil also endorsed this instrument and he endorsed it to X. Later on, X endorsed it to Y, and before the due date, Y also endorsed the instrument to Z. So these are the parties who are involved in this example. So now from the point of view of the concept of the discharge of instrument, let us see this example. Okay, let me show you the screen clearly. Okay, so as you have seen, Anil is a maker. So being a maker of promissory note, his liability is primary to pay off to the holder of the instrument. And the last endorsee becomes the holder of the instrument, which was Z in our example. So he is a holder, or he will be the holder in due course. On the date of maturity, he can get the payment from maker. But there were intermediate parties also involved, Sunil, X and Y, who endorsed the instrument to this holder, to this last endorsee Z. So Sunil being a payee and X and Y being the intermediate endorsers, they all are also liable under this instrument, but their liability is secondary as a surety. Now what about the discharge of the instrument? Now first of all, discharge simply means releasing the obligation created under an instrument. We all understand that whenever any negotiable instrument is issued to other person, it is always because we owe something to that person. We are liable to make some payment to that person, and in lieu of payment, we issue the negotiable instrument, which in present example is a promissory note. So obviously, if the instrument was created, drawn or endorsed for the purpose of paying off a liability to any other person later on, so in that case, that instrument to be discharged means that you have to pay that amount which you have undertaken to pay. So simply making a payment on the instrument by the person who is liable to pay under the instrument, it discharges the instrument. So discharges the instrument means it releases the obligation of all the parties involved, and all the parties here are some parties who are liable primarily, who have primary liability, some other parties who have secondary liability. So payment can discharge all of them, but we have some detailed provisions to understand in between. Now in case the person who has primary liability, which in my case is Anil, if he makes payment to Z, the holder, on the due date, the whole amount of payment is paid by Anil, that will discharge the instrument. And when I say it discharges the instrument, it means all the parties get discharged, whether it is Anil the maker or Sunil the payee or X and Y who are the endorsers, they all get discharged because the instrument is getting discharged here. So that means in case payment is made by Anil, this example, this should be Anil, not Sunil. If Anil makes this payment to Z on due date, in that case, it will discharge all the parties under that instrument. So Anil has made this payment to Z, so he gets discharged. But what if On the due date, Z approaches Y and Z asks Y to make payment to him, because we know that all the prior parties, they are liable to make payment to the holder. Like you can see, Z being the holder, all the prior parties are liable to him. So Z can make any of them or all of them liable to pay for the instrument. So in case Z only approached Y, who issued him this, who endorsed this instrument to him, if Z approached Y and asked him to pay for the instrument, in that case the negotiable instrument will not get discharged, because it is Y who has made the payment and liability of Y was secondary in nature. Primary liability was that of the maker, Anil. So because the party liable primarily to make payment has not done the payment, so the instrument will not get discharged, but only one single party is discharged, that is Y in this case. That means all the other parties remain liable unless Anil makes payment to them. So Y now he can get payment either from X or from Sunil or from Anil. So Anil if makes payment to Y, then all the intervening parties also get free from their liability. So considering this example in mind, now let us understand the provisions under the Act regarding discharge of negotiable instrument. So now see, so as you have understood in this example which I explained to you, we can understand very well that discharge of an instrument means releasing the obligation under the instrument. It also means all the rights which the parties had to get the payment under the instrument, those rights also get over. So that way the discharge of instrument can be of two types. It can either be discharge of the negotiable instrument itself, or it may just be discharge of one or more of the parties from their liability under the negotiable instrument. So considering these two main modes, first let us discuss about the modes of discharge of the instrument, and further we have subcategories, subparts of modes of discharge of the instrument. So we will be discussing all of them one by one. The first mode of discharge of negotiable instrument is by payment in due course. Now payment in due course is a legal concept under Negotiable Instruments Act, which means when the payment is done by the person who is primarily liable. Now in promissory note, who is the person liable primarily? It is the maker. In case of bills of exchange, who is the person primarily liable to make payment? It is the acceptor, the drawee who has accepted. And in case of banker, it is the drawee banker. So if any of those persons in any of these instruments, they make the payment and they make payment to the holder as per the apparent tenor of the instrument. Now apparent tenor here means as per what appears on the face of the instrument. Whatever is appearing on the face of the instrument means the date of payment, the amount of payment, the person who is supposed to get the payment, that means the holder. And if you make the payment on the maturity and entire amount is paid by you and you are making this payment in good faith, that means you didn't have any doubt on the title of the person who was receiving this payment. In that case, you are said to have made the payment in due course. So the first and the foremost and the most natural way of discharge of an instrument is making this payment in due course. Payment by the primary liable person to the holder who is having the name on that instrument. But it can also happen that the payment is not done on the maturity, all other conditions are fulfilled, but payment is done before maturity. So in that case also it will discharge the instrument, provided the instrument is properly cancelled after making this payment and the fact of this payment is recorded on that instrument which is cancelled now. So in this case, if you get the payment before maturity and you don't cancel it, then the holder can still endorse it further, because on the face of the instrument it is not appearing that the instrument has been paid for, and also the date of maturity indicates that it is yet endorsable, negotiable. And also in case the instrument is payable on demand, in that case also payment will not be effective unless you cancel that instrument properly. So for discharge of instrument under this mode, we need to have fulfillment of these three conditions. First, payment is by the person who is liable primarily. Second, payment is done to a rightful holder whose title is right title and not a defective title. Third, you are making payment in good faith and no negligence was done by the person who is making payment for the payment of the instrument. Second mode of discharge of instrument under this is the payment by the discharge by the primarily liable party becoming the holder of the instrument. So now we have understood already the concept of negotiation back, wherein we have understood that sometimes in the process of multiple endorsements, after endorsement, if ultimately the instrument gets into the hands of the person who was liable primarily, means drawee in case of bills of exchange or maker in case of promissory note or drawee banker in case of the check, that makes it clear that in that case the person who was supposed to make the payment, he himself is now becoming the holder, so he himself is entitled to receive the payment. So the debtor and the creditor becomes one and the same person. So there is no question of making payment or receiving payment. So in that case, the instrument is said to have been discharged from payment. Third is by renunciation of the rights by the holder. By renunciation of the rights by the holder means holder only had the right to receive the payment. If he waives off his right to receive the payment, either by by putting in writing or by cancelling the name of the main person who was liable to make payment, who is drawee in case of bills of exchange. So if he renounces his rights against that person who was to be made liable to pay, that also will discharge the instrument. Fourth is by cancellation of the negotiable instrument. If the negotiable instrument, even without making payment, has been cancelled, if on the face of it you have written the word cancel, put your signatures and physically destroyed the instrument, that automatically also discharges the negotiable instrument and discharges all the parties involved in that instrument. Also, a negotiable instrument can also be discharged as a simple contract. So in that case, you can enter into an agreement with the parties and therein you can discharge all the parties who are liable primarily for the payment of that instrument. So the main thing that here we can understand is, it is the person who is liable primarily to make the payment. Any release of that person or any payment by that person or a cancellation of the name of that person will make the instrument discharged for all the parties involved. Second mode of discharge is discharge of one or more parties and not the entire instrument getting discharged. So that means in case only one or more parties are discharged from their liability under any negotiable instrument, the instrument is not yet discharged. So that means this instrument is still continues to be negotiable. Now consider my example once again, case 2 which I explained to you in the beginning, wherein in case Z asked Y, presented his promissory note to Y and asked him to make payment, and Y makes the payment, it discharges Y only. But the primary liable person Anil, he still is liable here. So in that case all other parties are still liable here. Only Y gets discharged. So such instrument is now in the hands of Y. Y, after making payment to Z, he will get the possession of the instrument. Now it is his intention, he can either collect the payment from Anil or he can still endorse this instrument further. So that means in this situation the instrument continues to be negotiable, but it is discretion of the holder now, which in present example is Y. Now multiple modes under this category are by cancellation of the name of a party. If name of any one of the party is cancelled intentionally and this cancellation is apparent on the face of the instrument, in that case we can say that that party is discharged from the liability under that instrument. Or second can be by release of a party. Release of a party means the same thing, by waiving the right against a specific party or by renunciation of any party's liability. So in case the holder has cancelled the name of any one of the intervening parties but not the primary liable party, So in that case, if you have cancelled the name of, like in my example there was name of X also, so if you cancel the name of X, then X gets discharged, but the instrument is not discharged. Anil is still supposed to make payment. So this holder, which in my example was Z, Z has waived off his right only against one person who is X. So X gets a discharge. Or third is by payment. If any party makes payment, any party except the primarily liable party. Like in my case, to example, it was same. Y made the payment, it discharged Y. Fourth is, in case of acceptance, you must have gone through the earlier video lecture on presentment for acceptance, where we have discussed that in case of bills of exchange, it has to be presented for acceptance. And for acceptance, you cannot give more than 48 hours for accepting that bill of exchange. And a bill of exchange can be endorsed even without getting acceptance of DROI. So let us take this example, that acceptance was not yet done and the holder and the instrument was endorsed by the payee further to any person, and that holder has presented the bill for acceptance to DROI, which is possible, and that holder gives that DROI more than 48 hours to accept. So all the intervening parties before that holder, all those intervening parties who had not given their consent to give this kind of extension of time beyond 48 hours for acceptance to the DROI, they all get discharged. This is a legal rule under Negotiable Instrument Act. Another mode of discharge of a party can be by non-presentment of a bill of exchange for acceptance. If you do not present the bill of exchange for acceptance at all, so unless it is accepted, it has no meaning. So in that case, if reasonable time has expired and you have not presented the bill of exchange for acceptance before the DROI, then in that case the DROI gets discharged from his liability. Next, by delay in presenting a check for payment. So in case of check, you are supposed to present the check and it should not have become stale check. So after expiry of 3 months from the date appearing on the check, it becomes stale check. Then afterwards you cannot get a payment on that. Also, in case you did not present the check after getting this check with you, you have not presented it beyond a reasonable time. I'm not talking about 3 months time now. Beyond a reasonable time, if you have not presented the check before the banker, and in between this time period, the bank has failed. The bank has failed means failure of the bank means closing down of the bank, etc. Bank has become bankrupt. You remember recently in Maharashtra, this Punjab and Maharashtra Cooperative Bank got failed. So that kind of a scenario. So in that case, the drawer will get in case of check, the drawer will be discharged up to that much extent, because if you would have presented the check for payment before the bank would have failed, the payment would have been received. Now because you made unreasonable delay and the bank got failed, so payment was not received, the drawer will be released from his liability because of your failure to present on time. And it was not a specified time, it was a reasonable time. You should not have made a delay in this case. Another mode can be by conditional acceptance. Now we have read earlier also that in case of bill of exchange, the acceptance can be also done conditionally, but it is up to the holder that he accepts this conditional acceptance or he does not accept it. In case holder has accepted the conditional acceptance given by the DROI, in that case, if all the intervening parties, prior parties, they have no objection to this conditional acceptance, if they have given their consent for this, then nothing will happen. But in case without the permission of previous parties, the holder has given approval of this qualified acceptance given by the DROI, in that case all the previous parties not consenting to this kind of qualified acceptance, they will get released from their liabilities. And what is understood by the qualified acceptance? It can be like you have mentioned that condition, I accept to make payment subject to this condition, subject to happening of this event. Or second, you mention that I will undertake to pay only this much amount, part payment. Or thirdly, where you undertake to pay at a time other than the time which is mentioned there. So in this case, you are putting your conditions regarding time, place, amount, or any event happening. So this kind of acceptance can be received, but in that case, holder only will accept this acceptance. All rest of the parties may accept it or they may object to it. If they object to it, they get released from their liability under that instrument. Another situation of discharge can be by operation of law. By operation of law, when the debtor means drawer in case of bill of exchange, maker in case of promissory note, and if they become insolvent, in that case also they are discharged from their liability, although you will be able to get some amount subject to the property or estate of that person, but still he gets discharged from his liability on getting declared an insolvent person. But it is only the person who becomes insolvent. All other parties, they will remain liable because they may have a secondary liability. Or by operation of law, an instrument can also get discharged by expiry of limitation period. So this can be, you have heard about time barred debt. So if a debt has become time barred, beyond a time period you have not taken any legal action to recover the amount due, like for example the instrument has become dishonored, so you should have taken action to recover your amount from any or all of the parties, and you did not take action and you made a delay beyond 3 years, and we know beyond 3 years a money debt becomes time barred. So because of this expiry of limitation period, now the instrument will get discharged. So this topic we can cover under discharge of negotiable instrument. Another discharge mode here is by the drawee banker making the payment in due course. So obviously if the drawee banker makes payment of the check, it means the payment is done, so it is discharged. But it can happen that the banker has made the payment, but payment is made to the wrong person. But as per what appears on the face of the check, it is not a wrong payment, but the payment is not made to the person who was intended to be receiving that payment. So the drawer of the check intended to make payment to one person, but as per what appears on the check, banker has made payment to any other person who turns out to be a wrong person. So this payment is wrong payment, but still it will discharge the drawee banker because the payment is in due course. Now payment in due course in this case means whatever was appearing on the check. So in case it was an order check, so order check can be endorsed further. So this check was endorsed further and one of the endorsements were forged. That means signatures of any one of the endorsers were forged. And as I have told you earlier also in the previous lectures, that the banker can only check the specimen signatures of their own customer. They cannot verify the forgery or forged signature done by the endorsers. So banker does not know the signatures are true or they are not true, but banker makes payment as per what name appears on the check. In that case, banker is free from its liability. Secondly, if the check was a bearer check, and bearer check means it is payable to whosoever presents that check before the banker. So in that case, even if some endorsements were done on the back of the check, bank can safely make payment to any bearer who presents that check. But because of the endorsement mentioned at the back, the intention was to make payment to the endorsee. But banker can ignore that and can make payment to any bearer because primarily it was a bearer check. Another category is by not giving notice of dishonor. Now we have understood earlier also, in case the person who was liable primarily, he is not making payment and the instrument has become dishonored, then holder needs to give notice of dishonor to all the prior parties to whom he wants to make liable under the instrument. And if you fail to give notice to all of them or any of them, so whosoever does not get that notice of dishonor, he gets free or discharged from his liability. The last category or mode of discharge is by material alteration. In case some changes are made on the instrument on any of the terms of the instrument, that will also lead to the discharge of the party involved. So what kind of alteration it can be? Alteration of the date of the instrument, the amount payable on the instrument, the due date or the maturity date, the rate of interest, or any one of the party has been discharged, his endorsement has been cancelled, or the date of endorsement has been cancelled, or the place of instrument has been changed without consent, or the instrument has been torn off. In all these cases, these are said to be material alteration. Now some other alterations can also be done which will not be called as material alteration, like any clerical error has been corrected, like amount was 10,000 in words and 10,000, it was 1,000 in figures. So it is a clerical error, it can be corrected, and this correction has to be done by the consent of the parties concerned, and this correction was done before the negotiable instrument was issued. So you can make those corrections before you issue that, and you have to put those initials there. Or it was an incomplete or incomplete name was there, and you just completed that name by putting the surname of the person. Or there is some alteration which was done which was unintentionally done. So these alterations are not said to be material alteration. So some other alterations are also there which are legally authorized to be done. We have done and discussed them earlier also. Like first, in case there were certain blanks, like the amount was blank, or the date was blank, or the name of the endorsee was blank. So such blank instrument can be completed. So completing blanks in blank instruments, blank columns cannot be said to be any alteration. They are authorized. Or endorsement was blank endorsement, and you entered the name of the endorsee, making it a special endorsement or endorsement in full. This kind of change addition is also not a alteration, it is allowed. Making a qualified acceptance, you have written the words accepted and some condition was added into that, so that is also authorized. Or the check was cross-checked, the check was uncross-checked, and one of the endorsers, before endorsing it further, crossed the check. So crossing of the check can be done at any stage. In the initial stage when the check is drawn and issued, or it can also be done when the check is being endorsed in the process of negotiation. So what is now the effect of any of these material alteration? In case any of these kind of material alteration have been done, it makes the negotiable, and it is done without the consent of all the parties. The effect of this will be that the negotiable instrument becomes void, and the parties liable on the instrument at the time of alteration who were liable, they will get free from their liability. But all the parties who became the parties of the instrument later on, after the alteration was done, then you kept on endorsing the instrument even after alteration, then all subsequent parties, they will not cease to be liable, they will remain liable. But the parties who were parties before the instrument was altered, they cease to be liable under the instrument. So in that case, this is the last effect of the alteration done on the instrument, which will discharge the parties concerned. Not the instrument, but these parties who without whose consent this alteration was done. So this is all about the different scenario and two main modes of discharge of the instrument.